back to We Are the Trash Heap Trio. I gotta figure out a better way to say that, but you know what? That's like our fourth take, so I'm using it. We are whatever. We are going to be talking about SCPs today.
Hopefully.
And yeah, Alora's playing the no internet dinosaur game on her laptop because she is having problems.
It says it's connected. I shit you not. It has internet. It is secured. Nothing.
If it says connected, then try again.
Hey, you don't understand. It's not doing anything. Not even Discord is opening up and updating.
I think your laptop's just fucked.
No, because it was working earlier until I came to this home network.
Oh, well, that's a you problem. So we're gonna be I hope that picks up on the mic how your annoyed key scratches. So we're gonna be talking about SCPs today. If you're not familiar, SCP stands for Special Containment Protocol. Yes. And it is just it's like cryptids, basically. It's like a universe of cryptids.
The thing is, it's between creepypastas and cryptids.
Yeah, it's right up there with those things. And it's all these stories about things. Sometimes they're real, actual things that are just written about, and other times it's things.
I know there was a world where it was all made up of all flesh, like dogs and cats.
Well, so it's the whole thing is it's this actual place that's underground, and they keep all these creatures there, and depending on if it's safe or not, then determines where it is and if it's safe to enter the room and stuff. And it's very interesting because they made a game.
Yeah, I think there's a couple.
SCP Containment. There's a couple versions.
Well, yeah, there's the My Little Pony one too.
Well, that's a mod.
That's a mod.
Yeah.
No, that's also Yeah.
That's not its own game.
It's a mod for the game that exists already.
It's SCP Containment Breach. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like all the SCPs get out, and you're able to kind of go around and you try not to die.
Is it only the dangerous ones in that? Or
are
there good ones?
They're all dangerous. I mean, it's just
they're all they have different they have different levels of classification and different levels of containment.
For instance, Santa is actually considered an SCP in this world.
Santa's an SCP, and he is allowed out on Christmas every year, and then he just willingly goes back.
And they let him.
And all his reindeer and his sack of gifts and his sleigh are all also SCPs.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they are. But what I like about it is how in-depth it is.
Yeah. Because
they have this, ranking system of different, types of containment, and, there's a certain type that is a container for other SCPs. So I know that the state of Massachusetts is an SCP that is a container for something. We don't know what it contains. But everything you've heard that goes on in Massachusetts, it's all lies. We don't know what is in Massachusetts. But it is protecting us from something.
So, they have different ways they classify them. So, safe, obviously, is SCPs that are, completely harmless. Really couldn't do you at, any harm. Mm-hmm. Easily and safely contained. Then, after that, and I'm going to pronounce it Euclid. I don't think that's how you're supposed to.
That's how I would say it. Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds
right.
And
that's, the one step up. So, they require a little bit, more...
clearance?
Requirements to contain them. Or... the containment isn't reliable, but they aren't very much harmless either. A lot of them are pretty it says on here any SCPs that is autonomous, sentient, and or sapient is generally classified as Euclid due to its inherent unpredictability because it has a mind of its own.
Yeah.
So if it was just an object that didn't really do much, it would be considered safe, whereas even if it was a safe thing, if it has autonomy, it would be immediately classified as Euclid. So then after that, it's Keter. Keter? Would you say Keter?
I would say Keter.
Keter. Okay. Yeah. They're exceedingly difficult to contain, consistently or reliably, and they have certain procedures, often being extensive and complex. So they can't contain them well due to certain technologies that are lacking or whatever.
And all of these descriptions are quite vague because all SCPs have a huge range of like what they can be capable of, or what they do, or how they act.
Yeah.
So these descriptions are pretty vague. They're just, you know, classes that they can be put in for quick understanding when with containment protocol.
Do we agree on Keter?
What's that?
Do we agree on Keter?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
I would say Keter.
So it says that they aren't necessarily dangerous. It's just very, very hard to contain them.
Which isn't the point.
Thaumiel?
Yeah.
Thaumiel?
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 Yeah.
I don't know. I can't read it.
Thaumiel.
From this distance, it all looks like a bunch of black lines.
So these are actually anomalies that they use to contain other SCPs. So
I'm gonna lose it.
It's classified as high level, but yeah, they just function as a way to keep other SCPs contained. And then neutralized are are SCPs that are no longer anomalous. Sorry. Either through intentional or accidental destruction or disability. So they at one point had autonomy and was able to do whatever, and at this point they aren't anymore. Then there's different objects. So the explained ones obviously are things that they can explain. Esoteric or narrative. They don't fall into any other section, I guess.
Those are just
the miscellaneous.
Yeah, those are the ones we otherwise can't explain.
Everything else.
Decommissioned, which it seems to be was used by senior staff at the past to not only delete unwanted articles, but place them in a sort of wall of shame. So I guess we'll understand.
I think that's a meta joke about people who just put whatever on the wiki, because obviously this isn't real. It's all
fake.
It's all a fan thing that people make up and write and do. So I think the decommissioned is a meta joke of
real.
These are ones that people wrote that aren't good or were written as jokes that we don't want, that can't be taken seriously.
They're the crappy pasta version.
So they put them they decommissioned them and put them in the wall of shame.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just this giant facility where they house all these things, and I guess we're just gonna read off a couple of them that we find are funny, I guess.
Yeah, maybe random. Amusing. Maybe we'll just hit random because none of us are super well versed in
find one
SCPs.
I kind of do want to read off.
You found the one you found. Okay.
Well, no, I couldn't find the one that I wanted, and Miles had no idea what the fuck I was talking about.
Cool.
Yeah, but he did mention the one that he did and it was called the Red Sea Object, and I'm mighty curious because it's called Item SCP 093.
All right. Do you want to go first then?
Sure.
All right.
The object class is Euclid.
All right.
Special containment procedures. The SCP must remain on a mirror at all times and under video surveillance. Admittance
Not
into the area of SCP-93's containment must be authorized only with proper video recording and subject retrieval procedures in place. Any attempt to use SCP-93 outside of approved tests will be dealt with severely, up to and including termination.
Wow.
The description. SCP-93 is primarily red disc carved from a stone composite resembling cinnabar, with circular engravings and unknown symbols carved at 0.5 centimeters depths around the entire object. Deeper cuts are present on SCP-93 with a depth of 1 to 1.5 centimeters. It is 7.62 centimeters in diameter and fits comfortably into most palms without abrasions.
Without abrasions?
Without abrasion.
I guess it's smooth.
It's smooth.
Smooth.
Will change hue when held by a living individual. The colors taken by SCP-93 are still being researched to establish a link. Current belief holds that the changes depend upon regrets carried by the holder.
Oh wow.
If SCP-93 is removed from a mirror and not held by a person, it will seek out the nearest mirror-like surface. SCP-93 has been observed to travel in the largest possible circle while rolling, building up phenomenal speed. The mechanism of this acceleration is currently unknown. If an obstacle is between SCP-93 in nearest mirror-like surface, it will use this momentum to punch through the obstacle and continue on its course at this speed. I'm getting to that mirror.
It is a determined rock.
It will only stop when a mirror-like surface is contacted. Despite tremendous impact velocities, no damage will be dealt to SCP-93 or the mirror. Additional notes. No records exist to clarify the nature of SCP-93's discovery or presence in the Foundation. Since no records exist explaining 93's method of containment, a test procedure was initiated to establish why mirrors must be used to contain it. The results of SCP-93-T1 led to the discovery of living beings holding 93 being able to move through mirrors and series of tests in 93-T2 to ascertain the destination reached through its travel.
So it's ultimate narcissist, the SCP. It's like if I can't see a mirror, someone's gonna die. I gotta see myself.
Wow, the original document has redaction.
Oh yeah, they have documents and experiment synopses and stuff that have redacted parts.
And then later down, it says the object was found on the shore of the Red Sea, January 30th, 1968, emanating a low sigh in a dim blue gleam. Its colors have since turned into an orange mix of red, only emanating a hum of variety volume, whilst in the presence of female examiners of ages between 34 and 41.
Ooh. Horny rock.
93 resembled the documented blue for 5434 at 1:23 on 26th of April 1986, coincidentally when the body of 19 whatever that is was discovered in the research facility.
Okay.
No, it's literally just one long ass number. I'm not reading that off.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. Ties between that number and SCP-93 remain inclusive, and effects of prolonged exposure to 93 remain unknown, except for infrequent reports of periods of calmness, and in the case of another number, as periodic waves of depression, loss of balance, and thoughts of suicide. These feelings have reportedly not exceeded 11 days in duration. Objects seem to react to the presence of that number by turning light violet for no more than... There's nothing.
There's nothing?
There's nothing. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just... It's not really a description.
So, okay. Well, first, if that's mainly it, why do you like this one so much that you chose it?
Well, it was recommended. Miles, it's Miles' favorite SCP, and I'm not sure why.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting.
It's
apparently it's gotta have something to it. I'm just not finding it.
Maybe there's a story about it somewhere that is very interesting. Here's what I don't understand about a lot of SCPs is just why? It's just, there's a lot of facts about this, right? It's very specific that it is this type of rock, and it is this color sometimes, but also it's this color now, or it's got symbols in it that are exactly this depth carved into it, and also it likes mirrors and is horny for women. It's just, there's a lot, there's so much happening.
Yeah. See, because as far as I know, everybody just describes it as a stone that will turn color based on regrets carried by the holder. But it doesn't go any further than that description, which is
maybe that's it.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he just likes it.
The reports on the actual wiki all have to do with the different colors. There's red, blue, green, and yellow.
Got it.
So I have no idea what that's about.
All right. Interesting though. I mean, yeah, it's a horny rock.
I'm sorry, but that's how we're gonna start.
So yeah,
it's a horny rock, just like
that's an interesting choice for a favorite.
It is. Yeah,
there's gotta be something more to it.
Yeah,
I just don't know what.
Yeah, it's just even then, even if there is a cool story, it's still an interesting choice.
Yeah, it's just well different than the one that is my favorite. I feel like it's one of those things. I feel like it says a lot about a person what your favorite SCP is.
Also, the thing is about SCPs is you gotta remember that sometimes they're even just concepts. They're not actual physical things, because there have been SCPs that are actual worlds and alternate dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
how do
also
you contain that.
You don't.
But they do.
See, that's the thing, though. They do
It's
say
like
that they can't contain everything. They just have it there because
Yeah,
maybe...
but they have it there.
It's
A lot
probably
of
because
them-
they're persuaded to be there.
A lot of them are contained within other SCPs.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
a lot of SCPs are used to contain different SCPs.
That's
in
what
the
that
same
one
way that an
type-
SCP can be an entire world,
I guess.
an SCP can contain an entire world.
That's
It's
also
just
why
weird.
that one class was there, where it was like SCPs
Yeah.
who hold back other SCPs.
Yeah.
Like, that was the whole thing.
And even ones that aren't specifically classed as containers for other SCPs, they're often used
Yeah.
if they can contain, especially like dangerous SCPs, like other SCPs that neutralize them will be used to in their containment.
Yeah.
I will investigate this further, because I'm kind of curious now.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
do you want to
Yes.
move on? Okay. So this one is my favorite, and I know almost nothing about SCPs. I mean, I know, like, the concept of them, and I know some of the rules and stuff,
Yeah.
but, like, I've never really, like, been super into it. I haven't played the game or watched the game or anything like that, but I watched one video where artists draw SCPs just based on the description, and I fell in love with this one. It's so very good. So this is SCP-999. And its object class is safe. And I'll start with the description of it, and then talk about the actual containment procedures. So SCP-999 appears to be a large amorphous gelatinous mass of translucent orange slime weighing about 54 kilograms or 120 pounds, with a consistency similar to that of peanut butter.
Ew.
It's peanut butter
That's
slime.
thick.
Thick.
That's
With
thick.
2 C's.
That's like
I
12
hate
C's.
to be
yeah.
like
Alright.
that person, but I
So
totally
thick.
would just mess with that poor bastard.
Well, keep
I
listening.
would want to touch it.
Keep listening.
Okay.
Subject size and shape is easily malleable and can change shape at will, though when at rest, SCP-999 becomes a rounded oblate dome, roughly 2 meters wide and 1 meter in height.
How big is that?
So that's about 6 feet wide and
Holy fuck. That's
three
really
3
big.
feet tall.
That's really big.
Yeah,
Wow.
he large.
Yeah, he is. I love
Big old ball of orange peanut butter.
it. Yum.
Honestly, it's starting to
Um,
remind me of the movie The Stuff, and I don't like that movie.
Stuff.
It's kind of like The Blob, but more like cheaper.
Knockoff blob.
It really is. It is. I don't know how else to explain it, but it was marketed as yogurt and basically took over people.
Ew.
Was the blob too mainstream for you? Try this. Stuff.
Try.
No, it was called The Stuff. It was
So,
my dad's favorite movie as a kid, and I did not like it.
The surface of SCP-999 has a thin, transparent membrane, and it's highly elastic, allowing SCP-999 to flatten portions of its body up to 2 centimeters thin.
Oh, dang.
Let me
That's
just.
like nothing.
Yeah, so it can just, like, flip down into the
How-
ground and just, like,
How long? Because that would be like
Too
very long.
it'd be long. Long boy.
That'd
He
be a
can
very
just,
long
like,
boy to stretch out.
like, fill up the floor of an entire
Yeah.
room if he wanted to.
It'd be a big room too.
So,
And that was how the slime prank began.
So, for containment procedures, SCP-999 is allowed to freely roam the facility should it desire to, but otherwise must stay in its pen either between 8 p.m. To 9 p.m. for sleeping,
Oh.
or during emergency lockdowns for its own safety. Subject is not allowed out of its pen at night or off facility grounds at any time. Pen is to be kept clean and food replaced twice daily. All personnel are allowed inside SCP-999's holding area, but only if they are not assigned to other tasks at the time or if they are on break. Subject is to be played with when bored and spoken to in a calm, non-threatening tone.
I love it so much.
You have to like me, otherwise I won't like you.
Aw.
Subject's temperament is best described as playful and dog-like when approached. SCP-999 will often react with overwhelming elation, slithering over to the nearest person and leaping upon them, hugging them with a pair of pseudopods while nuzzling the person's face with a third pseudopod, all while emitting high-pitched gurgling and cooing noises.
Just out of curiosity, does this thing leave slime behind?
I don't think it would.
Oh, I think because it
Like
said
an
it has a
It's
thin
contained. Yeah, it's got a
membrane.
membrane.
I
so
mean,
it's
like
contained.
an oil, though, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. I
I
don't
would
know.
allow it.
Yeah, it would be allowed.
be
It's
great.
like when a dog licks you,
Yeah,
you know?
you just let it happen.
Yeah, it might be a little uncomfortable, but also you really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Well, no, I don't
'Cause
mean
you
like
love
that.
it.
I'm just kind of curious if it
Yeah.
would, though.
The surface of SCP-999 emits a pleasing odor that differs with whomever it is interacting with. Recorded scents include chocolate, fresh laundry, bacon, roses, and Play-Doh.
At
Trademark.
least for one
Play-Doh.
instance, you can actually know if it actually likes you or not.
Simply touching SCP-999's surface causes an immediate mild euphoria, which intensifies the longer one is exposed to SCP-999
What?
and lasts long
Aw.
after separation from the creature. So you feel good.
Okay.
Makes you feel happy.
I like it a lot.
Subject's favorite activity is tickle wrestling, often by completely enveloping a person from the neck down and tickling them until asked to stop.
Oh, that's adorable.
Though
Oh my
injuries may occur,
God.
SCP-999 has never been found to purposefully attempt to harm others, and will immediately back away and contract its body into a quivering mound, while gurgling in a manner similar to a whimpering dog, seemingly apologizing for hurting someone on accident.
Oh, that's adorable.
While the
I
creature
love
will
that.
interact with anyone, it seems to have a special interest in those who are unhappy or hurt in any way. Persons suffering from crippling depression or PTSD, for example, have reported having a far more positive outlook on life after multiple interactions with SCP-999. The possibility of manufacturing antidepressants from SCP-999 slime is currently being discussed. So yeah, it does leave a slime trail, it sounds like.
Aww. That's the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
In addition to its playful behavior, 999 seems to love all animals, especially humans, refusing to eat any meat and even risking its own life to save others. On one occasion, leaping in front of a person to take a bullet fired at them.
Aww.
Subject's intellect is still up for debate. Though its behavior is infantile, it seems to understand human speech and most modern technology, including guns. SCP-999's diet consists entirely of candy and sweets, with M&Ms and Necco wafers being its favorites.
Aww.
Addendum, SCP-999-A. Reminder to all staff, SCP-999 is not to consume caffeinated soft drinks of any kind.
Uh-oh.
Last week, someone gave 999 a can of cola along with its usual breakfast. Not only was it literally bouncing off the walls for half an hour, the carbonation made 999 visibly queasy afterwards, and it refused to move or eat the rest of the day.
Aww.
999 has thankfully recovered since, but the staff member in question has been reprimanded.
Aww.
So I love this
moron.
jelly dog so much.
So cute.
It is like it sounds like such a sweetheart. I just want to play with it forever. You're supposed to talk to it in a calm tone. It smells nice. It gurgles happily. Oh, I just love it.
It's just a dog.
It's just so good.
Oh, I love it so much.
Hmm It's just a ball of peanut butter that loves you and wants
just
to make you happy.
Orange ball of peanut butter that smells good and loves everyone.
Excuse me, ma'am. This is my emotional support ball of peanut butter.
Me.
It's the support blob.
Yeah.
Aww.
This is my emotional support blob. He is allowed to come on the plane with me.
He's allowed to.
You legally cannot make me leave him. He is my good boy. I do need another seat for him.
I was gonna say, big good
He
boy.
does need an entire seat.
He could just, like, envelop you, though.
2 meters wide. I imagine him as more like a sphere than like, because like,
Yeah.
because the dimensions are kind of weird.
I mean,
he's,
if
like,
it's, like,
oblong.
flat and then a mound, it's kind of like an egg. You know? Where an egg is, like, flat around the sides, but then it has the yolk, so it kind of goes, like, in a hump. That's how I imagine it.
Yeah.
But except a bigger hump. Yeah.
Big egg.
Big egg. Really big egg.
Yeah. I didn't know he was so wide. I didn't know
either,
that.
yeah.
I thought he was more like a ball, but he's like very wide.
I was imagining, like, a lot tinier. Like, maybe the size of, like, a small dog.
I was imagining like a big dog. I imagined him like the size of a big dog.
That's a human. That's human size.
Yeah, but like he's
is
a
human
ball.
size. Yeah.
I didn't imagine him as like because he definitely seems big enough. Like I knew he was big enough to like roam around and like tackle hug people and nuzzle their face.
Tackle hug.
So I imagined him the size of like I don't know, like a golden retriever, maybe bigger, but
That's really cute.
like yeah, I love him so much. I'll take 12.
Me. I wish I had a favorite SCP, and I don't. And I'd have to go through every single one before ever deciding a favorite, because
And there's
that's me.
5,000.
There's 5,000.
Or so. There might be more.
There's 5,000. So they have series.
Okay.
And they're at the 5th one right now. So yeah, they have
Okay.
like 5,000.
All right.
I don't know if they've
Holy fuck.
released. I don't think they're ever gonna release it anymore, but they might.
It's kind of like Pokemon. That just keeps going
Yeah.
until there's
Keep
nothing
going.
left.
Yeah, each series has 1,000, so they're at 5 right now. But yeah, I would have to read through all of them to decide a favorite. So I'm just kind of choosing at random. So this first one I chose, SCP-056. It's labeled a beautiful person. So I'm going to start with the description and then do the special containment procedures. It's classified as Euclid, and I think that's just because it is a like a thing.
It's a person.
But it's not like, it doesn't like seem to be doing much. So, it varies in size, gender, and appearance. It changes in response to the environment around us, especially in regards to the living and sentient beings around it. It says its most common form is a handsome man in his middle 20s.
Of course it is.
Dressed in a garb of similar appearance to that of the personnel guarding it, but of higher quality and aesthetic value.
I'm you, but better.
Yeah, like, that's literally what it's done.
Oh my god.
It's been recorded, though, taking these forms. So, at one point, it was a large, well-groomed Labrador Retriever, especially specifically when exposed to Dr. Blank Blank's dog. There's literal blanks, I didn't make that up.
You should say redacted.
Yeah, it's redacted.
But it's not.
It is.
It is.
No, because
That's
they
what
would
it
put
means when you-
redacted.
Not necessarily.
Yes,
Sometimes-
every other thing I've seen has said it's redacted. That one's just, it's not there.
Oh,
Fine, it's
I
been
didn't know that they
blacked
had-
out.
Why would there be a difference?
Because, see, out over, down here somewhere it says redacted.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, see, right here it says redacted.
Why wouldn't...
But this
what-
was
it
not.
means-
What's the difference?
I think it's called being blacked out.
Yeah, it's blacked
Yeah.
out. But, like, what's the difference?
I don't know.
Well,
There's
one
a
is you
difference.
don't
Anyway.
want. They don't want you knowing. It was like a revised version, like later with like a pen. Because technically these are supposed to be like documents.
Yeah,
With quotation marks, so it's like, oh.
So the Labrador Retriever, when exposed to the doctor's dog, a woman of similar appearance to famous actress Scarlett Johansson, when passing by a group of younger female staff. Impressionable, great. A female doctor in a white lab coat when speaking with various researchers. When asked to take an IQ test, the subject scored nearly 30 points higher than the highest scoring researcher available.
Shit.
So it's incredibly... Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
It's incredibly smart, yeah. I'm fine. The microphone's not. It's taken the form of a male bodybuilder who is able to lift nearly 250 kilograms. Twice on a bench press machine in the sector's gym. This was 30 kilograms heavier than the strongest security guard at the time. Which 25 kilograms. Does anybody know what that relates to in pounds?
It's like 60 or so pounds, I think.
Really?
Isn't it 2.2?
I don't know, but I'm just 250. Doesn't seem like
Oh,
a
I thought
lot
you
for...
said 25.
No, 250
Oh, so that would be like
Did you
600
say kilograms or
pounds.
kilograms, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
to pounds.
Ooh.
I think it's 2.2. So I think it's like
Hmm.
6. I think that would be like 600 or so
Pounds?
pounds.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fucking bench press that shit.
It'd be about 55 pounds.
250, not 25. So it would be
Oh.
yeah, I did the same thing. So it would be like 550. Yeah. So it's close.
Okay. And then do 220.
About 485.
Okay, so the highest a security guard could do is 485 pounds, and this thing could do 550
550.
pounds. That's a
Damn.
lot, yeah.
Nice.
And then
Strong.
apparently, it turned into a couch of extremely pleasing aesthetic value when left alone in the subject's room.
It's just like, shit, no people. All right, furniture.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna be the prettiest one, though. Don't you doubt it.
So it says, these changes will generally occur the moment all people in the area lose focus on the subject, which occurs immediately upon exposure to a new object or person. So filming the changes has proved inconsequential, as any viewing of the tapes or feed suffer the same momentary confusion. Clothing will also change during the time, though 056 has yet to manifest any sort of tools or weapons.
So it forces you to focus on something else when it changes?
It focuses you, yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
It has you, like, lose...
Same with, like, the camera.
A sense of what you're doing.
Okay.
So I guess it does film it, but I think it's, like...
You just
you
can't...
yourself, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't see it changing. You just get confused. It's theoretically impossible to view SCP-056 in its natural form. When left in an empty concrete cell and under closed-looped video surveillance, it took on a form of a higher quality camera and appeared to monitor the camera watching it.
Yeah. You're watching me, I'm watching you.
It turned itself
It's
into
just like,
a
you gave me
camera.
nothing else to work with. I'll be a camera.
I'll be
but better.
a better camera of this camera that you gave me.
Oh, man. I love it.
It says further attempts to yield its natural form discovered that when alone, it had no readable life signs, including body temperature, heartbeat, or weight. It is assumed by researchers that it could not exist without any sort of perception. So if just left on its own, it wouldn't exist. I guess.
Okay.
That's what it kind of sounds like.
So then
So if you
why
put it in
observe it?
If you put it in a white room, oh boy.
Yeah, just take the camera out of the equation and boom, it's gone.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, no, because it just do something with the concrete room.
Yeah, but if no one's looking at it.
I guess,
It's
yeah.
would
kind
just
of
be
the
gone.
same
Just be
thing
not-
of
yeah.
if a bear
Yeah.
shits or does a bear shit in the woods unless you're around, or excuse me,
If a tree
does
falls in the
tree
woods,
falls
but
in
no
the
one's
woods.
around to hear it, it doesn't make a noise.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
If this thing is in a room, but no one's around to see it, does it really exist?
Yeah.
And that's just every philosopher's
But-
fucking nightmare.
but, like,
yeah. Like, yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Like, if I can't see it, is it really there, though?
So it says, people around it report feeling jealous or unsatisfied.
Oh my God.
But
It's gotta one up everybody.
it literally does. It's just
It's
making
just-
a better form
It's just
of...
envy
Yeah.
personified.
Yeah.
I love it.
But yet, these people who feel jealous or unsatisfied will often give great deal of both positive and negative attention to the SCP, which can be predicted by their personality types, apparently. Security staff will often claim they wish to follow the subject's commands, even if they dislike it or its current form. And then researchers in extended contact with it will often try to argue or verbally abuse it, which usually results in the subject sending them out in shame.
Oh my God.
It's quite capable of speech and can apparently communicate in any language, verbal or not, and has shown fluency in over 200 dialects, including those invented by cryptographers and hobbyists.
Wild.
So
it can speak Elvish?
yeah, and like Klingon or whatever.
Klingon?
Is
Really?
that what it
Klingon?
is?
Klingon.
Klingon.
Close enough.
Not necessarily, because there's this dude who taught his son how to only speak Klingon.
And that child
Incredible.
is failing life.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, if that's all you know how to speak, you are...
You'd have to be bilingual in Klingon and English.
Yeah,
the problem
you'd
was
have
he
to,
never taught him
but-
English, so when
So
he was
this
in
kid's just
kindergarten,
fucked
You never
forever.
know.
No, he got taken away from his father, which is,
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
that's
had
fucked
to,
up.
but like,
'Cause
yeah.
nobody else
Teach
can
him
do
in a
that.
language that other people can communicate in.
Yeah.
Fuck, teach the kids sign language. Even that's better.
Like,
Other
at
people
least-
use that.
At least do, like, two at once.
Yeah.
Not just one
Yeah, make
language.
your kid bilingual in your fucking
I never
nerd
said it was a good
language.
thing, I'm just
No,
saying
I
that
know.
it happened.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that guy sucks.
But, yeah. It frequently treats the staff around it with disdain, though it's generally willing to do whatever it is asked, so long as the inquiry does so in a submissive way. It has interest in magazines, fashion, automobiles, theoretical science, sports, and a multitude of other subjects. So anything, I guess. expressing greater knowledge and understanding of the topic than the person communicating
See,
with
that's
it.
the thing, that I think it's only as intelligent as you are.
No, it says
No, it's
better.
more.
It
It's
says
more
Well, I mean,
intelligent.
like, it's more, but you know what I mean? Like, its intelligence only technically measures up to you, if not a little bit more.
It exceeds your knowledge and the most knowledgeable person in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're gonna sit there and argue with it, which it seems like researchers will do, you know pretty much what you're talking about, so then it'll just shame you.
Yeah, it'll just always be better.
I love this one, actually.
very
I'm not
good.
even gonna lie. Its personnel will generally become angry, disenchanted, or disgusted with it after speaking to it for great lengths of time.
Because
Yet it seems they will try to speak to it again if possible. When questioned about other SCPs, it showed fear and occasionally hatred and refused to speak about any of them, even objects classified as safe. So that kind of implies that it knows, like, what SCPs are,
Yeah.
and is able to say, like, I don't like any of them, I don't like anything that's going on with any of these things.
Well, I mean, if it's as knowledgeable, as the researchers, then it would have to know.
But it's saying it doesn't like them.
Yeah.
Like any of them.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
fear and
but it
hatred.
would have to know about them to,
all
hate
of
them. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Doesn't
why?
like them. Why
Why
not?
doesn't it? Why does it hate all? Of
Because
them?
none of them are as good as it.
Damn.
It's
all
better
right.
than I'm better than you. I don't like you.
So additional. A subject was found to be working for a clothing design company, which has been redacted, and after an unusual number of homicides, suicides, and mental breakdowns of other models when working with the SCP. So I guess people just got so, like, I don't know, upset with their inability to be as good as it.
Yeah.
They just would, like...
just choosing shitty shit.
When Class C personnel attempted to detain it, their mannerisms provoked it to change into what appears to be a form of... Dang, it says data expunged.
Oh.
Resulting in the deaths of 17 agents
Whoa.
and 10
Shit.
civilians. The incident was covered up by claiming an employee suffering from psychopathy brought a firearm to work and attacked the other workers.
I'm guessing it turned into a firearm, though.
But it
I
said
don't
that
know if it
has
turned
never-
into a firearm.
It has said
I know,
that it
I know.
never tried to manifest weapons.
No.
No?
No, yeah.
Huh, okay.
I don't know what
I
it
guess
would've
I
been
was
then.
listening correctly then.
Yeah, it said it...
It said way at the beginning that
Yeah.
it never tried to manifest weapons.
Yeah.
Weird.
That is weird.
Maybe I mean, I presumably it would be a good manipulator
Yeah.
because it's hyper intelligent.
Yeah, so maybe
it knows how to
just-
make you feel inferior.
Yeah.
So maybe it just maybe it manipulated somebody in such a way that resulted in them killing others.
Yeah. So
Oh.
just for their containment procedures, they're kept in a room of their choosing, of its own choosing, with whatever furnishing it expresses desire for. So level 1 personnel, which is almost anybody, except for janitors and stuff and whatnot. That's how that goes. It's level 1, I think, to 5, and level 0 to level 5. So level 1 is pretty much almost anybody. They're able to kind of just go with it at any time for any length of time not exceeding 2 hours. It's guarded by a minimum of 3 guards, which seems like a lot. And each guard is armed with a non-lethal tranquilizer. So, I mean... maybe,
We'll make
I
the
don't know.
boy sleepy.
Yeah, they don't want to kill it, which I
No.
get.
They want to contain it.
I found a
Um,
creepy
yeah.
one.
I found a really dark one.
So, the
not the
subject
more
is allowed access
Okay.
to any object it desires, with the exception of weapons, communication devices, an internet connection, and other SCP objects. It may wander in some research sector as it wills, but never allowed access to floors with exits. In the event of emergency, or if it becomes violent, it is to be subdued and contained within the room if possible. Yeah, I kind of like this one. Honestly, it's kind of one of those things where it's oh, whoa, wait.
It's just the epitome of the me and intellectual meme. This is
Yeah.
better than you at everything you do.
So
It's just
I can
harder,
do-
better,
I can
faster,
do-
stronger.
I can do everything you can do, but better.
Yeah.
at no time should personnel attempt to harm SCP, and it says see addendum 2B. And it lists off people who apparently tried to harm it.
Well,
Does it say what happened to him?
Yeah. So, one was a male of Class D personnel. He was armed with a knife, and he was intending to hurt it. Subject appeared as a lean, fit man of approximately 20 years of age, and the subject proceeded to disarm and kill the person. A female of Class D personnel bearing a bottle of fine wine. It was trying to offer it as a gift. Subject appeared as a beautiful woman, accepted the gift, and upon tasting, spit it back in the person's face before waving her away. So that one wasn't trying to harm her.
Was it not good enough? Was it
No.
a cheap wine?
I guess so.
Oh, man.
2 Class D personnel, both male and female, carrying nothing and intending nothing. Subject appeared as a beautiful woman in a well-tailored business suit, examined both personnel, then dismissed them.
Damn.
I don't like you. 10 Class D personnel, all male, intending and carrying nothing. Subject appeared as a beautiful woman dressed in a low-cut red dress. After approximately 10 minutes, all personnel began showing signs of irritation, and 5 minutes later broke out in fighting. Subject waved them away after watching them for 7 minutes. It just watched them and was like, nice boys, now leave. Fun entertainment, get out.
Now go. I'm done with you.
The last one is one female of level 4 personnel, voted to be best looking woman in facility, carried nothing, intended nothing. Subject appeared as an extremely aesthetically pleasing woman and displayed a large lexicon and understanding of management skills. Spoke to personnel for nearly 90 minutes until personnel became infuriated and left the room.
Oh, God.
So it looks like in this scenario, when it's talking about the results of, like, people who've gone in there, besides the first one where they, like, tried to contain it, it's only killed one person.
Except for that one incident.
Yeah.
Where a bunch of people died and we don't know what happened.
I'm guessing that was their own fault.
Yeah.
Well, they were trying to restrain it, is what had happened.
Yeah, but something
And
tells me
it
they
didn't like
provoked it.
Well,
I mean, they're trying to restrain it. Yeah.
It's just better than everything.
Well, no, I meant, like, you know how, like, people do stupid shit and then, like, you, like, anger whatever it is you're trying to do and then it starts to attack everybody and then you have to restrain it with quotation marks because you did it?
Well, yeah, because after...
I'm just saying, I'm guessing from the way that this sounds like they probably did this to themselves.
There was an unusual number of homicide, suicide, and mental breakdowns of other models who worked with and around SCP-056. So,
I think it just...
they then tried to contain it, and it
It's just
resulted
an asshole,
in
but it doesn't really mean
17 deaths of agents and 10 deaths of civilians.
I mean, I think it just, like, makes you feel like shit about yourself.
Yeah.
And people respond differently to that, you know? Like, I'm sure people, you know, like you were saying, Laura, like, people probably just get so frustrated with it. I mean, it talks about people just get infuriated and leave.
Yeah.
Like, people probably just get so frustrated with it that they provoke it, or, you know, they lash out, and then it retaliates, but better.
Yeah.
Because everything it does is better than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was SCP-056. I honestly like that one a lot. It just makes you feel inferior.
Yeah.
In every way, shape,
I'm you,
or
but
form.
better.
Yeah.
I'm a couch, but better.
I'm a couch, but better.
I'm a camera, but better.
I'm a high-quality camera.
I could use something like that.
But it would make you feel like garbage, because then it would turn into you, but better.
Yeah.
So, do you want to read your next one?
Sure. Okay, so I'm doing the morgue, which is what SCP 22 seems to be called, because they never had the name.
Yeah, they don't put it in the actual
Which is
article.
Yeah.
It's just on
the main page.
Yeah, the title page.
Yeah.
its class is a Euclid, because apparently this thing has a second portion to itself.
Oh.
I'll talk about that after. The description of SCP-22 is a morgue in the basement of redacted hospital in Great Britain until 80 blackout, because it's got an 8, but it doesn't have like the full year. There was no reported anomalous occurrences within the morgue. Reports of strange activity were first received in November of 1980. blank. The area was soon quarantined by the Foundation, with an official story being released that the entire building had been condemned. The reason for the sudden manifestation of its strange
What did I say?
I turned
What did
down
I
my
say?
thing, my
Everyone
ringer.
put your phones on silent.
I can't. My ringer's connected to
You're
my
looking
thing.
at your phone.
Yeah, but chances are high I'll still miss it. Listen, it saved me.
When?
Never.
Exactly.
Strange properties remain under investigation. Basically, they don't know why, okay? Periodically, a random drawer within the morgue will open to reveal a cadaver under a covered sheet. After approximately 6 minutes open, the cadaver will animate and attempt to leave the morgue. At this point, the cadaver is given the designated SCP-22-1. In some cases, the cadaver will be too damaged or decomposed to suddenly exit SCP-22 or even rise from the table it lies on. In this case, SCP-22-1 will typically struggle and twitch on the table until expiration occurs. Should an instance of SCP-22-1 expire while remaining on the table slides back into the drawer, which then shuts. Reports indicate that the scent of burnt tissue is evident immediately following such an event. The energy source that sustains instances of SCP-22-1 is currently unknown. Instances do not breathe, eat, or sleep, and their bodies produce no heat. Analysis of SCP-22-1 following expiration has discovered no abnormal organs or chemicals present. They appear to be fully human cadavers.
Damn.
Instances also possess physical strength that exceed that of normal humans. You know, kind of like a dead body would, because there's no limiters anymore.
Wait, what?
Sorry, that's just my own talk.
No, what?
Okay, so basically
Limiters? What do
you know
mean by that?
how okay, so the human body could technically do so much more than what we are capable of right now. It's just our brains have limiters so that we don't break our bones and our bodies wrecking ourselves. Like,
Which is why you can lift a truck in an emergency situation, because your
Yes.
brain shuts those off because it's that or death.
technically we could actually lift things like 10 times our body weight, but technically we can't do that because we have limiters to keep our body safe.
Yeah, because we
But
tear ourselves apart.
Technically, that's why in instances where, like, movies have, like, you know, the person's dead and then all of a sudden they have superhuman strength, it's because there's no longer a limiter there. If they break a bone, it's whatever. They're not going to feel it.
Yeah, like zombies being able to tear open a human chest when you struggle to open a bag of chips.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Your brain's like, dude, these chips, you'd break an arm.
It's why you
can't do it.
bite your finger off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You physically
Like,
could
you
do
could.
it, but your brain's like, no, that's bad.
It's like a carrot.
You can't do that. Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
carrot.
Anyway, back to
Yummy.
yeah, I don't like carrots either.
I'm a vegetarian,
Oh.
but cannibalism is fine.
Well, I mean, to be honest.
I mean, you're
Humans
not
are the worst
hurting
of the
anything
animals,
else
so,
but
you know.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Auto cannibalism.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say.
Sorry, wrong thing. My bad.
No, you're fine. That's what
mean,
Sylvia was saying.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, back. Okay. So, Addendum 2202. A pile of matter was discovered on the floor of the room directly above SCP-22. It appeared to contain all matter that had been sent into SCP-22, with the exception of humans. Excuse me. All materials appeared broken and worn down. Metallic components were covered in large amounts of rust, with all biological parts being in various stages of decomposition. Testing revealed that the time between the inserting an object into the SCP-22 and it reappearing above to be precisely 183 seconds. Humans who enter, however, do not appear in said pile. Instead, humans appear to become integrated into the morgue and may later animate as instances of SCP-2201. Going back up for the special containment procedures. A vault has been installed following incident 22-827 to seal SCP-22. It is to remain locked at all times, with the sole exception being the appearance of an instance of 22-1. The original door to SCP-22 was destroyed during Incident 22-827, with attempts at replacement being met with failure. Security cameras have been installed to monitor for instances of SCP-2201. In the event that an instance of SCP-22-1 appears, automated systems should incinerate it the moment it leaves SCP-22. At this point, the vault door may be unlocked to admit cleanup crews. Should the automated systems fail to destroy the instance of 2201, response teams are cleared to enter and neutralize it. Under no circumstances may any living human enter 22 or SCP-22 except for the order of Class 4 personnel for testing purposes. Class 4 personnel may also order instances of SCP-2201 to be captured and held. However, they may not be removed from SCP-22 containment facilities. And then, like I said, the last thing would be, like, a log, but I'm not sure if we want to do that. It just
Unless it's particularly interesting, I don't know.
I mean, in a sense, it's like a doctor having a conversation with the SCP itself. Like the cadavers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know. So it's a morgue that makes dead bodies instead of simply containing them.
As far as I can tell, it's like it's saying that it's taking them from everywhere.
So someone dies and they appear in the morgue. Oh,
because it said that these cadavers resemble and sound similar to the people who disappeared from morgues everywhere. Like, like they match descriptions.
So all morgues are connected through the morgue.
I want to say that's how this.
There's a haunted house called the Morgue around here.
Yes,
I went to
it's
it.
out of it.
Yeah.
It's out of business now.
Was it really?
It was actually one of my favorite.
It wasn't that scary. I wasn't scared, and that means it wasn't scary.
Did you go with me, or did you go on your own?
No, I went with some other friends.
Okay.
I've never been.
Like I never considered it
was
that
fine.
scary.
The scariest part was
the
scariest part was how dark it was and how many times I fell down because it was dark.
Let me tell you this, like when I go to a haunted house, I don't expect to be scared. I look for the props and the acting.
Yeah,
like
it was fine.
Yeah,
but I wasn't scared.
The slaughterhouse was the best. Although that one, sometimes if you weren't careful, like it's out of business now because the lease went up on the building that they usually use. But the thing is about that one is that they had nice rules so that you technically didn't, like, they had, like, good waiting periods so that you technically didn't catch up with the other group unless you're fucking running through it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But the problem is that sometimes you get hit with things, like, by accident, of course.
Yeah.
Like, there's this one time this one dude was swinging around a heart. Or it was either a heart or it was a baby attached to an umbilical cord, is like that. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, he was swinging it around, and I don't think he realized he was hitting people.
Oh.
I got fucking smacked in the goddamn face. And this was at the beginning of the house.
Oh, cool. So you're just dealing with a broken nose the whole time?
No, the thing was, I couldn't feel my nose even after I walked out of that building.
The real fear is the blood loss.
I was fucking
But it's dark, so nobody can
blood
tell.
Loss.
I was in so much goddamn pain. And
couldn't even enjoy it.
Nope.
Damn, that sucks.
It was just funny because
if
I was the only one who got hit with this thing.
Hey, if you're that guy and you hit a girl in the face with a baby, feel bad.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
See, that's the thing though. I don't think he realized he was hitting people because he raised my dad, but
now
I got it fucking in my face.
Because he's listening.
He's listening.
He's listening.
I'm gonna find him and I'm gonna send it to him. He needs to know.
Hey, dude, you're next on my first murder list.
Well, you've already killed one person. I'm gonna be the second, and then so he's gonna be the third. Episode 1, baby.
Who'd she kill?
I don't know. She didn't say.
Did she?
No. She said, something along the lines of, they may have killed somebody before, but that doesn't mean they're good by the second, and you may very well be that second.
Oh, that's true.
So, I'm gonna be the second. And then this guy's gonna be the third.
Yeah, because we were talking about practices, and I was like, just because they killed somebody the first time doesn't mean they're going to be good by the second.
Yeah. We were talking about killers. Anyway.
Yes.
Listen to episode 1. It's all in there.
I remember that conversation. I don't remember it specifically meaning that she killed someone.
It's just how it sounded to me.
Okay.
Well, because then immediately you were like, so do you want to be killed or not? Because the lore is right here. So, like, it's like it definitely sounded like you took it that way.
Well, I implied like you were the first.
Oh, okay. I heard it as I was the second. Because she said, you may be that second.
You may be that second.
It sounded that way
like,
to me. Sounded like a
because
threat.
you were talking about, like, dying, I was like...
Did you say it that way?
That's what she said.
I'm pretty sure I said it that way in the sense of, like...
She did?
I was like, I have no fucking clue.
Because if you were the second, I was like, just because you're the second doesn't mean it's going to be perfect.
I'm amazed that you remember this at all.
I don't.
I am completely talking out of my ass
I'm
here.
taking an educated guess.
I kind of know what I think like. So if I said that,
sure
then
this
it was
is what I
probably
meant.
this. So, SCPs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got one for
I actually
you.
kind of like this one though.
Do you have like a spooky one? I have a kind of funny one.
No, mine's kind of funny.
Okay, I'll go next then,
Okay.
just to keep the order.
Yeah.
Mine is mashed potatoes can be your friend.
Uh-huh.
And it is SCP-2981. The photo of it is, it's a bowl of mashed potatoes.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so...
Wait, so what's it called?
Mashed potatoes can be your friend. SCP-2981 is a 4.8 kilogram mass of mashed potatoes.
Wait, how many kilograms?
4.8.
Is that a lot?
That's
I
a
feel
lot
like
of
that's
mashed
a lot.
potatoes. That's like 9 pounds?
Damn.
10 pounds? Something
my
like somewhere
God,
between
what is going
somewhere between
on
8 and 10
with
pounds of
her?
mashed potatoes.
That's a lot of mashed potatoes.
Yeah, it is.
Are they in a bowl?
Well, in the picture is definitely not of the whole thing
Oh,
because it's
okay.
not a giant bowl of potatoes,
Oh.
but it's a bowl.
So it
of
is
mashed
in a
potatoes.
bowl.
But it's in a bowl, but it's definitely not all of them. I'm sure.
Oh my god.
There's no way that bowl contains 10 pounds of mashed potatoes.
No. So it's
But, like-
not that one specifically, but there is a bowl. Like,
Oh, I don't know.
keep reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a mass of mashed
4
potatoes.
kilograms. Okay.
Displaying a cognitohazardous effect in... They made that up.
Hazardous.
It makes sense. It's bad for your brain, but like...
yeah, but like that
they
word
made that
does
word
not.
up. In which affected individuals perceive SCP-2981 as being a living person.
The mashed potatoes are alive.
Yeah, not
Oh
just alive,
my
a
God.
living person.
A person.
That's kind of okay. That's actually kind of that's like both funny and kind of creepy at the
Yeah,
same time.
it's funny. It's funny in the way that SCPs are.
I would totally befriend mashed potatoes. That just would be my life, and they wouldn't even be perceived real. I would just know
Yeah, you just
they're just mashed
decide.
potatoes.
Yeah.
And they're my friend now. Yeah.
When confronted by
Oopsie.
another individual on the subject of SCP-2981, in conversation or prolonged physical contact, this effect abruptly ceases its effect upon the affected individual and begins to affect the other individual.
Okay, so that's
So if
how they
you-
know it's actually mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Because if there's more than one person,
Yeah. So if you think
It'll
the
just
mashed
stop
potatoes are
working.
real, and no, but like if you think the mashed potatoes are real
Yeah.
and then you tell somebody that, it will instead, they will think the mashed potatoes are real.
and then
you will know
see
that they
their
are mashed potatoes. Yeah.
That's the weirdest fucking power to
I
ever
lo-
have as an SCP.
I love
Like,
how I'm saying the mashed potatoes are real, which is definitely not at all
no.
describing its effect, but you knew what I meant.
Yeah, well, yeah,
You
because
get
they
it.
are. Like,
they're alive.
it's
They're
a living
yeah.
person.
This
Or wait,
affects-
you don't believe they're a living person anymore. I still
No,
think
now
they're
you
living.
do.
Yeah. Hey, Laura, the mashed potatoes are a real person.
Oh,
wait,
now
they're
you think
mashed
that.
potatoes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Now you and I
It's a
both know
mashed
they're mashed
potato.
potatoes. But it says, interestingly, this effect has...
Laura's totally
She
giving
doesn't know
up.
what's going on. It says this effect has not been observed affecting more than 3 individuals at a time. So I think it can affect multiple people,
Oh.
but in some cases it simply switches. Proximity of non-anomalous potatoes to 2981 causes 2981 to
Anomalous potatoes.
effectively spread, causing the potatoes to become a part of 2981.
Whoa, wait, what?
So if you put more mashed potatoes in it, then all the mashed potatoes are affected.
So it's not just like a person with mashed potatoes on their head? Like, it's just more of a person?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
if
it
it
becomes, it
wasn't-
absorbs, the person absorbs the potatoes,
I would
and now
love
it is
if
all...
it was like, it wasn't, so you could clearly like identify
can
where the
see
new mashed
the-
potatoes are versus the
I wonder
old.
if you physically see it or if it's just a perception.
Well, that would mean you kind of physically...
You don't see, it's not physically
No,
a person.
But you wouldn't see it as mashed potatoes either way.
Yeah. So
it's
you'd be able to
perception, you
perceive a living thing with this void
Yeah.
of potatoes in it. if it
Yeah.
didn't simply absorb them.
Yeah. You would just be able to see this person with mashed potatoes just on top of
Yeah.
them. It kind of makes sense why you aren't able to, because
Yeah.
like you can't distinguish what a
Yeah.
new mashed potato and old mashed potatoes
Cognitively, you wouldn't
is.
be able to tell the
No,
difference.
so maybe
but,
that's
like,
it.
Yeah.
Because
So you just can't tell the
cogn-
difference.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the problem would be solved then if you separated out the mashed potatoes again. If it, didn't share the effect, but you just couldn't tell the difference.
Can
You would be able to separate the potatoes and then be able to tell that they were
Can
potatoes.
you split them up and get like 2 people?
I wonder. You just be surrounded by potatoes, but you're like, I have all these friends!
You have like 15 different piles of little bits of potato, and like there's just a tiny one, and you just see a small like child.
Like
They're all the same person except it's one like it's like a crumb of potato.
Yeah, it's like a smaller version of the people. I wonder you have
like
to.
the Dr. Pepper dude.
Yeah, like
this
that's just a tiny
human.
person. Or like the
Like
the cowboy
human,
and the gladiator from Night at the Museum. Just small
yeah,
people.
They're just tiny. Yeah.
But someone else would need to do it.
The chunk of potato determines the size of the
God,
person.
what would that be like though if you're the person who is currently affected?
Yeah.
And someone just starts chopping up this person into smaller people.
They just like go, they grab a bit, and they just start holding a person.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how that would work. Or if they would just be like, you took its arm off.
Or like if it's just like, oh, you now have potatoes.
Yeah, now it's just potato.
I wonder if it's the idea of like an illusion though, like
it's a
even though
technically, so like kind of.
Like in the idea, like they're interacting with it, but like when you look at it from a non-looker's perspective, they're just acting with air, and there's just potatoes on the floor next to them.
Yeah, would it be like that otherwise? Where
No,
it's
but
like,
I'm thinking of it in the opposite. The person affected is watching a person who is not affected interact with them.
Yeah, where it's like...
Would they see them
they
as
see
just
the
ripping the
person,
arm
then,
off the
yeah.
person?
Or like I said, would it just create a tiny human off of that person?
Too many plot holes with this one.
Or they
Well,
just
maybe
pull it
if
off
I
and
read
it's just
more and we shut up.
You have a hand of mashed potatoes now
There might be
somehow.
an interview with it.
There's more things.
Okay.
We just got distracted
Sorry.
by the logistics of
I'm
potatoes
just curious,
being your friend.
You know?
Yeah. So the special containment procedures, 2981 is to be contained at Site 19 in a freezer located in Containment Area 14A. To prevent spoilage, fresh mashed potatoes are to be placed in the freezer alongside 2981. Following a period of 4 days, 2981's container should be emptied of its contents and cleaned before replacement. Personnel carrying out this process are not allowed to leave the containment area with 2981 and or the mashed potatoes. So is the container the thing? Because if you can clean the mashed potatoes out of it, then it's just the container.
I'm kind of
but
curious
it only
if
affects
somebody
mashed
would
potatoes.
ever accidentally eat this SCP.
Would anything happen?
I don't know. I'm very confused now.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that again real quick.
Yeah.
To prevent spoilage, fresh mashed potatoes are to be placed in the freezer alongside it. Following a period of 4 days, the container should be emptied and cleaned before replacement. Okay. So I'm wondering if they just they take new mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
They put them near it.
Okay.
But not touching it.
Okay.
Does it like
And being near it affects the new mashed potatoes are now the ones affected and are the SCP. So we can get rid of the old mashed potatoes, which are now spoiled, and then put them in the old container, because why would we waste extra containers like this? I think that's what they're getting at. I think they just put it next to it so that the new potatoes become affected. They wait until they're affected, and then they get rid of the old potatoes. But then what do they do with them? Isn't the point that they need to be contained?
Yeah, so I guess it can't be the potatoes if they need to be contained, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to just throw them away.
It says SCP-2981 and or the mashed potatoes. So
Yeah.
so the container must be the SCP. It's not actually the potatoes.
But it only causes
But it only
potatoes
works
to-
on potatoes.
to
Okay.
be affected, huh?
All right.
Interesting.
So then once you take them out of the container, they're fine?
I guess so.
So then why keep putting potatoes in the container? Whoa. Maybe there are plot holes. I want to read the discovery of it.
Okay.
There is
How do you discover this?
There is so much blacked out in this.
Aw.
Like the first paragraph is just, it's a mess. I think it's a lot of names and locations. So 2981 was first noticed on blank University, where missing person flyers were discovered around the blank campus, seeking out an individual named Alan blank.
Blank.
No I didn't know it was the same sentence.
Got it.
No identifying information or photograph was attached. Campus security tracked the flyers to an assistant professor, Yuan Blank. Upon interview, Mrs. Blank claimed to have no knowledge of an Alan Blank Blank. Several days later, of course they had to use all three of this person's names. And so you could have just said blank if you were going to blank it out anyway. But anyway. Several days later, Mrs. Blank contacted campus security, claiming to have located, quote, Alan's remains.
Whoa.
Security were directed to a lounge, and SCP-2981 was located and identified. Mrs. Blank abruptly left the scene, leaving security to contact local police to report a potential homicide. Officers on the scene could not find the alleged suspect, and a security guard, Mr. Shockley, took
killer potatoes
took SCP-2981 with him home. Here's my theory.
Okay.
I think Mrs. Blank
Yeah.
was the potatoes. And also, I think Alan's the potatoes.
So they both were potatoes.
I think they're both potatoes, and whoever was... I think somebody interacted with the potatoes, saw Alan, then Alan was gone.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, we're looking for him.
Somebody else interacted with the potatoes.
Yeah. So they're like, now there's potatoes. Where did Alan go? And then whoever was looking for Alan interacted with the potatoes as Mrs. Blank. Mm-hmm. And then she was gone.
Wow.
Her saying she found Alan's remains is weird.
Yeah.
Did she see different potatoes? And think that they were Alan?
She saw herself and was like, whoa.
Oh, fuck. She looked in a mirror and saw potatoes, except it was Alan.
His dead body.
Who's that dog?
Yeah. Yeah, who's that other dog? How did he get in here? Okay.
Potato.
So Mr. Shockley took SCP-2981 home with him. At this point, 2981 could not be accounted for until 1900 hours, at which point a student having dinner at the campus cafeteria was verbally assaulted by another student. This altercation led to the student, Ms. Payne... Okay, everyone else gets privacy, but fuck Ms. Payne, am I right? All the other names are blanked out. Anyway, fleeing the scene with a bowl containing a new instance of 2981. At 3:06 the next day, Ms. Payne brought 2981 to the clinic, claiming it to be unresponsive and bleeding profusely. Ms. Payne had to be restrained as she became belligerent when separated from SCP-2981. 2981 was then acquired by a nurse who brought it to tend to a patient. Hospitals... So a nurse saw the potatoes and went like, oh, you can help. And brought it to a patient.
Yeah, food.
I'm sorry.
Hospital staff questioned the nurse, Mr. Paulson, who maintained 2981 to be a visiting friend, and apologized for allowing them to visit a patient. Mr. Paulson did not resist being separated from 2981. At 1421, police were called to respond to a suspicious persons report filed by a patient, Ms. Joyce, who claimed 2981 to be eavesdropping and spying on the woman as she changed. Officers on the scene identified 2981 as redacted and placed it under arrest.
I'm trying to understand, is this thing, like, sentient, though?
I don't think it is. I think a lot of people are seeing a lot of potatoes. I don't think it's doing anything.
Around a bowl of potatoes, like, being like, look at my friend!
Yeah, this is my friend, and then they set the potatoes down. Well, also, remember, it affects other potatoes in its vicinity. So any potatoes it came into contact with or near contact with are now also affected.
Imagine having a weird potato thing where you're like, I need potatoes all the time, and you just have like 50,000 friends, but you don't want them. So now you just have a bunch of potatoes that are your friends, and you're like, please leave.
I'm sorry, start over. I'm not sure I followed.
They eventually rot, so I mean, like, if you just left them... But apparently
it's the container, though.
It's
that mainly, like...
See, that's also another thing. If it affects the things around it, how long do those effects last? Because I feel like it needs to be next to it to work.
Because if they spoil, like, does it just
stop? Yeah, are they not affected anymore if they're spoiled? I don't know.
Questions.
Okay.
Need answers.
So this incident was brought to the Foundation's attention following a brief altercation at the local police department, which escalated into a pursuit on foot as Officer Blank Jackson made off with 2981. Believing it to be a cancer-stricken relative named Jean. Officer Jackson made his way across campus, heading for the clinic, before losing consciousness and dropping SCP-2981. 2981 was largely recovered intact. As Officer Jackson retained SCP-2981's effects throughout the incident, and his subsequent detention and interview by Foundation personnel, it was not initially believed to be a cognitohazard. And then there's the interview with him. So, testing has found this to affect 44.7% of individuals exposed to SCP-2981. This effect has taken between 15 minutes and 4 hours to occur. Estimated, based on field reports and observations, to be between 1 and 3 meters. Which footnote is that? That's the proximity within which other potatoes are affected. So if other potatoes are within 1 to 3 meters of the anomalous potatoes, they will be affected. So they don't have to touch it.
No.
They just have to be close to it.
Close.
I mean, that's kind of what I figured, but...
And potatoes that are not mashed will begin to melt and rot if not properly preserved.
Well, that's just any.
What is that a footnote for?
Yeah, that's just
You're just letting us know
potatoes.
about potatoes.
Hey guys, potatoes will rot.
Why
if
don't
left
you tell
out.
us any potato Tumblr?
Yeah, this is going on my potato blog. We're resurrecting the blog, guys.
Oh, God.
It's been dead for like 3 years now, but
Well,
I'm
now you finally have a new thing.
SCP-2981, baby.
Yes.
Look at this potato
And I
fact of
won't
the day.
rebrand at all. I'll just start posting about... I'll start with that footnote and slowly delve more into SCP territory.
Please do.
Do you...
I have followers on that blog. They'll see it. But, so, yeah, I'm not sure I fully
I'm
understand
curious,
how
did
it
you
works.
Just, like, run out of steam for it? Or did you
Yeah,
just run out
there's
of
just
facts?
only so many interesting things about potatoes, my man.
So
So for
many-
perspective,
Well, no,
if
that's what I
y'all,
meant, like-
yeah. So if y'all don't, if anyone's listening and you don't know what I'm talking about, I used to run a blog on Tumblr. It's still up if you want to go and peruse the facts. Called Potato Fact of the Day, and it started because I was with some friends and we had Snapple. And the friend read on the underside of a Snapple cap, it said, potatoes have more chromosomes than humans. So we started riffing on that and joking, and we were like, oh, that sounds like it would be a funny Tumblr blog, like Potato Fact of the Day. And I was like, guys, I own it. It's mine now. So I did that for quite a while. I have 75 facts on there. And dude, potatoes are only so interesting. I love them, and I know a lot about potatoes now, but I just couldn't find any more things to put on it.
You could have just put recipes with potatoes.
Yeah, but that's not a fact about potatoes.
That is a fact about potatoes.
I am a
Look at this
scientist
potato.
with integrity,
I
and
know-
I will only report facts.
I know for a fact that this tastes great like this.
French fries, they taste good. Fact number 74.
Mashed potatoes, pretty good.
Mashed potatoes, like twice baked. Fuck yeah.
Actually, my grandma loves twice baked.
They're so good.
They're pretty good.
So, potatoes can be your friend.
Bless you.
Thank you.
We're gonna cut it out.
I'm
so
gonna
they
cut
don't
out the
know.
sneeze.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so they don't know.
No,
I'm saying
leave
bless
it.
you too.
Leave
Okay.
it. You asked if I was okay, and
Um,
I said no.
Okay, we're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna be done because it's 1:30,
Yeah.
and we've been going at this far too long. Bless you.
It wasn't a sneeze.
No, but she died.
That was her dying, as always.
So the last one we're gonna do is called The Office of Dr. Redacted. It's not his actual name. His name has just been redacted.
Oh shit, his name's not redacted?
No.
Oh.
This is SCP-08.
His name is just redacted?
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Yeah, no, it's not.
No, but it's been redacted.
It's been redacted. Yeah, it has been
Yeah?
redacted.
It's
Yeah.
1:30 in the morning.
It's very late. So this SCP-086, it's a sentient office, I guess. It was classified as safe, which it was then crossed out. Then it was classified as Euclid,
Oh, that's
crossed
so
out, and now it's safe again. So I guess we'll learn why it was like that. We'll start with the description. So, SCP-086 is a collective sensile organism whose component parts resemble items of office equipment from 1978. Specifically, and which contains a consciousness claiming to be that of the former Foundation administrator, Dr. Redacted.
Side note. A lot of these happen in the 70s and 80s. Have you noticed that?
Because those were fucking
I
scary
didn't,
times.
but yeah.
Okay.
Antiques are scary, man.
So it has 8 components, which are a rotary phone, which we'll call number 1, a wall-mounted pencil sharpener, 2, I'm gonna stop doing that. A desk stapler, a microfiche,
Microfiche.
whatever,
Fiche.
reader,
It's
a
microfiche.
water cooler, a
Fiche.
filing cabinet, fiche, a scientific calculator, and a slide rule.
Man,
So-
this is the 70s. They got a
No.
microfiche and
Yeah.
a slide rule.
Yeah, I know, right?
What the hell is that?
It's a thing. I don't know what it is. I just know it's an old
Yeah.
thing.
Well,
A slide rule is like a ruler.
I'm
thing.
sorry, but I can't look.
And then
it
a
up.
microfiche is like, you use it to, I think it was like the things you use to read old newspapers, or is that a different thing?
It might be that.
I thought
Oh
it was.
no,
Could be.
I know what you're
You
talking
know?
about. It's
Yeah.
it is
You
the
know,
whole
like
thing,
a tiny
yeah.
fiche?
Yes.
Microfiche. Microphage.
Microphage.
So no.
Thank you. That's also something I never did until I did.
You're welcome.
No.
That one's thanks to me.
No physical connection or electromagnetic transmission between any of these components has been detected. Every component of this thing is composed of biological material
Ew.
contained within a carapace made of varying amounts of chitin, keratin, and calcium carbonate, as well as trace amounts of nylon, rayon, and polyester.
That's just because they're from the 70s. Everything in the 70s has rayon and polyester in it.
DNA
It's the law.
It's the law.
Law of the 70s.
DNA analysis reveals that the tissues contained within SCP-086 are partially of human origin and data expunged.
The funny part is this might
that
just
how
be
you
a
say it?
ghost.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's another fun word.
No, because here's where it gets really weird. So the
Expunged.
telephone contains a large mass of neural tissue, which functions as a brain, despite several conformational and anatomical irregularities. This brain hosts the majority of SCP-086 consciousness. So it has a brain inside of the phone.
Yeah.
So it's not a
Does
ghost.
that mean if I actually
brain.
broke it
Yeah.
open, like
Yes,
Well,
brains
they're
are
made of
brain.
they're made of biological material.
Yeah.
And polyester.
You know, you
You
can
it's not a ghost.
No.
You say that, but sometimes a ghost can ghost isn't probably the word I'm looking for. Like maybe ghoul.
A ghoul has flesh,
Yeah.
but
Ghost.
but it's not.
Um,
It's none of that. It's a phone
No.
to the brain.
Yeah.
And a pencil sharpener with a hive mind connection to the brain.
Wait, so
Hive
the
mind.
telephone also contains an ear equivalent with a tympanum and ossicles in the receiver's mouthpiece, allowing SCP-086 to hear.
So when you talk into the phone, it actually hears you because that's where
Yeah.
its ears are.
Yeah. It is able
Okay.
to speak in an exact match of Dr. Redacted's voice and accent via the earpiece, although radiological and ultrasound examination have not revealed any laryngeal structures.
I'm sorry, quick question. Like, what's the point of redacting his name? Like, why not just
Keeping
have his name?
identity? Like,
Because the
I
thing
don't
is,
know.
isn't the idea that he's technically already dead? So I might as
Oh,
well.
we don't know that.
Yeah,
Well,
it
that
said
is
he
true.
died.
Oh,
I think.
I wasn't listening.
So like,
I mean,
it's not like
said-
it's
It
hurting
said
his
1907 to
reputation.
1978,
Oh.
implying he's dead.
So he died the year that these things became a
Yeah,
thing. So did somebody kill him and put him in the phone?
or maybe he did it himself.
How the fuck?
He might have transmigrated from the machine.
How the fuck did you
how.
put yourself in a phone?
Why does the phone have a brain?
Because someone put a brain in it.
No,
But that's not how
the
brains
thing
work.
It is
Well,
now.
what
they
if
said
it was like a
specifically,
situation
um,
like where the
Oh, wait,
fly-
no, guys, I
Several
got it.
conformational and anatomical irregularities.
Guys,
Like, it doesn't
guys,
make sense.
Guys, I got it.
Yeah.
The phone did it.
Oh, you're right. Shit. Didn't even think
Phone
about
killed
that.
him.
So the phone is capable
It was the phone
of ringing.
in the office with the pencil sharpener.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Wait, why did they list all that stuff if everything was just in the phone?
No, they're all
No,
connected.
I'm
They all
just
do
on
it.
the
She's
phone
just-
right now.
We just can't shut up
Oh,
about the
get
phone.
to the rest
Sorry.
of it.
Yeah,
we
you can
didn't-
tell I'm kind of zoning out here.
I know, we didn't get to that part yet.
My bad.
So the phone is capable of ringing. However, it has stated SCP-086 has stated that ringing gives it a headache. Consequently, the only circumstances under which it rings are when awakening from sleep, at which point it rings twice in rapid succession, and when in distress, at which point
Just
it rings
screams.
SOS in Morse code.
Oh. So this
Help.
phone wakes up and is immediately like, "Ow."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it rings
Oh,
twice
honestly,
in rapid
who
succession,
isn't though
and then
with
it's
alarms?
Yeah, I guess
Is
it's
that not
its
just
own
the experience
it's
of
its own
waking up?
alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now moving on to the other ones. So the pencil sharpener, the stapler, and the microfiche function as food intake organs.
Huh.
So the pencil sharpener consumes pencil shavings.
Yeah.
The stapler consumes staples, and the microfiche consumes microfilm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As
The
one
water
does.
cooler functions as a combination bladder and bowel equivalent, storing metabolic wastes. Ew.
So how does it get from the pencil sharpener into the what was the last thing?
Psychic
The
connection.
water cooler.
How does it get from the pencil sharpener into the water
Psychic
cooler?
It says there is
connection.
there's no connection. Here's the thing. There's no electromagnetic connection. There's no
Psychic
physical connection. There's just
connection.
nothing. So they don't know.
All right, cool.
This thing just is alive. They have no idea.
See, I'm starting to wonder if this is like a Fly situation, like where something went terribly
he
wrong.
tried
and
to
he's
teleport with all of his
Maybe.
office
Like,
supplies.
but I
and he
mean, like in the
became them.
like I mean, like in the sense of like he splurged into two different dimensions here.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Where one
One is the phone dimension.
Yep.
And the other one, he's dead.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like in the sense of like part of him's in like a reality, and the other part is in a different dimension base. Like
Yeah.
that's why if he consumes it through these things, it comes up in that.
That's an
later.
idea. Yeah, that makes
If that makes sense.
It does. Weirdly, it shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah, kind of.
Because I mean, that's
I
normally
get-
how
I
things
totally
like
get
that
what
would
you're saying.
work.
Yeah. So, to continue on, the filing cabinet contains several organs, which appear to combine sensory and manipulatory functions. 086 has proven capable of reading printed material and physically manipulating small items. For instance, turning pages and alphabetizing documents when they are placed within the filing cabinet. Wow. So it can just do it.
Sick. So you don't need to put any effort
Yeah.
into that. It just fucking does it.
He just does it.
Love it.
At 086 requests, it is regularly provided with non-classified reading materials and non-classified clerical work.
They're not trying to hurt anyone. It just
No,
wants
it's
to
literally
alphabetize.
just an office
It's
that
just
was
an
a
office
person.
that wants to do office.
I wonder
It's
if
a
he
person
just
that's
wants
an
to do-
office.
Okay. Wait, is there a cabinet involved here? Or...
Filing cabinet.
Filing
Yeah.
cabinet.
Okay, there was.
It
So-
alphabetizes whatever's put into it.
So the scientific calculator and the slide rule they don't know the biological functions of it. However, 086 has stated that it experiences significant discomfort and confusion when they are removed from its vicinity. And there is therefore speculated they have some role in its cognition. Yeah, no shit. It's a slide rule and a scientific calculator.
Sherlock.
Yeah, because the rest of
Like-
it makes sense.
The calculator accepts input. Its output seems to be random glyphs and LED noise. Cool. So,
That's just my brain.
086 has demonstrated that it has full access to Dr. Redacted's memories, and all tests indicate 100% match with pre-existing psychological profiles of Dr. Redacted. However, 086 has pointed out that there is no way to confirm that it actually thinks of itself as Dr. Redacted, and that it may be an alien intelligence expertly posing as Dr. Redacted, or a sleeper persona, which
Nailed it.
or as a sleeper persona, which sincerely believes itself to be Dr. Redacted. So it doesn't know itself either. It doesn't know.
This one freaks me out weirdly.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is freaking me out.
I think it's because you don't know whether or not it's actually him or something posing,
No,
thinking that it's him.
I mean, it was before that I was freaked out. I think you're right, Laura. Honestly, I think your theory is the most plausible.
So
I
okay.
hate to say it, but like that is a thing that kind of scares me. Like the idea of being stuck in two different dimensions, and that
Yeah.
like that's what happens.
But see,
freaky.
it doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yes, well,
Or
no,
maybe it
that's
does
also-
and it's just fucking with everyone.
You
You
think
never-
it's just Dr. Redacted being
Yeah.
like, fuck you.
He's just
Because
like,
see, no,
is
because
he
see,
a psychologist?
the
Does it
theory-
say what kind of doctor
The
he is?
theory can still stand
no,
in
I
the
don't think
idea
so.
that maybe he doesn't know how he ended up this way.
If he's like
But
a
he would still
psychologist,
be
I'm
able
like,
to
he's
say,
just
like-
fucking with everybody.
He
I'd
would still
believe
be
it.
able to say, like, I am me.
No, he
It's
would
not-
be able to. He just doesn't want to. He's just like, I'm me, but what if? You know? Like, that's kind of how I hear it.
I mean, maybe.
Like, I'm definitely him, but like, you never know.
So it says
You'll never know.
they assume it was created when he died on June 12th, 1978. And then, presumed killed by the PN class events resulting from the decommissioning of SCP blank. So maybe him being killed by this other SCP has caused him to become
Oh,
an SCP.
maybe.
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 So on June 20th, they started cleaning out his office. And
the phone started
screaming. It was at that point that the phone started repeatedly ringing, yeah.
Yes.
Even though it was not connected to a telephone jack.
Hell
so
yeah.
it just was ringing.
It just started
and
screaming.
They're like, excuse me.
Hey.
Please don't do this.
They answered the SCP, and it
Hey, put my
identified
slide rule
itself
back.
as Dr. Redacted. So
it's Dr. Redacted.
yeah.
Like, in
so
this
there's
sense,
two...
like, I feel like they should have actually had a name, though. Like, this would be, like, the one SCP where I think, like, they should have just left the name.
Yeah, what difference would it have
Well,
made,
his
honestly?
name is Redacted now.
His name's Redacted.
I know, but...
Just like the Taz Fearbold from
Yeah.
Taz Graduation.
Is it just the idea that they don't want people knowing that he worked in this state,
It
thing?
might just be like a
Yeah.
person, like a thing where that's just
His
how
family
it
or
is,
whatever,
yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
They want to respect
obviously
his
this is
estate.
not real, but...
Yeah, it's not real, but
just
like,
because
I mean,
you have
in
a
universe,
name
like...
doesn't necessarily mean somebody's going to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, but a doctor who died on this date, who was, you know...
Yeah, but anybody could be a secret
Who had
doctor.
a phone and a microfiche, like...
So, they have two notes. The first one has been crossed out, but I'll still read it. So it says, SCP-086 was originally classified as safe, but it has stated that because it is a sapient entity with anomalous biology and metabolism, and with access to the full memories of an SCP Foundation administrator who previously had level 4 security clearance, it should be classified as Euclid. So because it's itself knew what
So
it was
it was
supposed
like,
to be
hey guys,
classified.
I think you fucked up.
It's like, I know what I'm supposed to be classified as,
Yeah.
bitch. Put it
I'm
on there.
supposed to be a Euclid, respect me.
And then they straight up were just like, after that, so they crossed that all out and they said, note, although we appreciate SCP-086 consciousness, there is at no time, no pressing reason to clarify it as
Fuck you,
Euclid.
you can't
If
self-diagnose.
circumstances change, we'll reconsider.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It literally was like, no, we
It was like,
are,
hey
though.
guys, actually though? And they're
Yeah.
like, no.
They're like,
No,
why?
No, stop.
Okay, so here's the funniest
But the thing
is
is, in its own right, it's sentient. So
Yeah.
like, you can't.
It is, but
just
it's not.
say
It's
safe.
not
not-
unpredictable or potentially
no,
dangerous.
it's all
in its
just
sentience.
right there.
Yeah.
It's like, it says in the,
If they just take the fucking calculator away, it can't do anything because it can't think.
it can't function.
Yeah.
It's like, because it isn't, it just stays there. It can't move. So I think that
Yeah.
is also what classifies it as safe, is
Right.
being able to say, like, it stays there and we know it stays there and it can't do anything but stay there.
Yeah. Euclid implies that the sentience, I think,
Allows it to move.
Yeah, it gives it an unpredictability that is
Yeah.
potentially
Alright.
dangerous.
But
Whereas
it's
this
like-
thing is, yeah, it's kind of unpredictable,
But
but,
it's
like,
like,
it can't
it's
do
there.
anything.
No.
So it's safe.
Um,
Just like, you know, my peanut butter boy
Yeah.
is kind of sentient. Like, it
But it's
clearly
like-
has thoughts, but it's like, nah, it's not going to hurt
it
you.
stays there.
It's
yeah.
it's predictable.
They know it
They know what
stays.
it's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this this SCP is in a specific area, which whatever. They have one armed guard standing outside at all times for some reason.
Just in case.
I think it's more to prevent people from fucking with it too.
Probably more than
Yeah.
anything. And then all components of it are to be kept within 6 meters of each other.
Alright.
Otherwise, he starts to feel weird. So the
I wonder if
telephone.
these are just things that he just used, like, constantly.
Well, yeah,
Probably.
kind of.
It was in his
Yeah.
office, so I'm sure they
It
were
was
all
his
things
office.
that,
I mean,
yeah.
like, in the sense of, like, it has, like, an actual connection to him, if you know what I mean.
I mean, there's brain
Yeah.
matter in the telephone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying, like, in the
Something.
idea, like, that
Something
maybe-
happened
I
there.
wonder if they have the same DNA as Dr. Redacted.
I think they said they did.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
I know
so.
it had like it was made of flesh or whatever, but
I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious how the hell they
Well,
felt that
so-
they knew about this if they didn't open him up, or if they did open him up just to figure this out.
well, I don't
don't
know that
think
it's
it
necessarily
is
his
his
brain. I think it's
brain.
his.
I
I think it grew a brain
Yeah.
that shares his.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm
Conscience.
just curious, like, how they figured this out, if
Consciousness.
they actually cracked open the phone to see if this was true and if
Oh.
it hurt him or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I-
Did they do surgery on a phone,
I don't.
just
it
like they
doesn't
did on the
say.
grave?
Because they said he specifically
say.
has the like, you know, the ear glands, and it's like, how do you know that?
X-ray.
Maybe because the
But-
ossicles definitely would have shown up.
The
Yeah.
thing is, though, is that
But
they
They
I
can't.
could
don't
see
know about the rest
bones.
of it.
I mean, unless
Yeah.
they like brought the X-ray.
They
specimen
MRI'd the
to-
phone.
MRI.
They
Yeah,
MRI'd
actually,
the phone.
yeah.
Oh, but if it has metal in it.
See,
Oh,
also,
yeah.
it was the
Mm.
idea, though,
Hold
is
on.
that
Ultrasound
they couldn't take.
apparently.
Oh, ultrasound.
Oh.
Radiological
yes.
and ultrasound examination.
Cool, cool.
All right, never mind.
Man, if
I
only we had
spoke too
listened.
soon.
So it says, like, the DNA, I think they said earlier, it kind of matched. DNA reveals the tissues contained within SCP-086 are partially of human origin, and then it just says data expunged.
Okay. So maybe it said something about Dr.
It
Redacted's DNA,
demonstrated
but...
that it has full access to his memories, and all tests indicate 100% match with pre-existing psychological profiles of him.
So maybe they know, but they don't want to say. Maybe that was what was expunged.
I think it was, maybe,
They know if it matches or not, but they expunged it for reasons unknown.
Yeah. So, the phone is to be kept on the desk with a single connection to the telephone at the secretary's post. All communication are to be recorded, transcribed, and archived. So every 6 days...
In the filing cabinet.
Yeah. Every 6 days, the pencil sharpener is to be used to sharpen 4 standard commercially produced 16-centimeter HB pencils specifically, continuing until at least 95% of the mass of each pencil has been converted into pencil shavings. So they have to sit there and just push the pencil in until it's almost all gone. Until
it's probably a hand crank.
Either way, they still have to keep it in there until it's 95%
they just gotta fucking
done. And then
until it's
wall mounted, so it's probably a crank one. And
then, well, it's also from the 70s.
Actually, that's not that hard. A wall crank one.
No, but it's just like,
it's 4 of
them. Whose job is that?
Fucking
like, hey, right. You're on pencil duty today. Oh man,
God damn, dude, those cranks are pencil eaters. They'll get through that in less than like a minute.
Did you guys? Okay, this is entirely unrelated. Not entirely. It's about pencils. Did you guys have go through that phase in elementary school and middle school where I did not do this, but a lot of people, it was like a competition to have the shortest pencil.
Yeah. Yes.
Everyone wanted people
pencil.
just had tiny pencils. It was a thing. Yeah. What the fuck was that?
It was just the idea of how far could you go before it becomes completely useless.
Yeah. I mean, I would have stopped well before the point that a lot of people got to. Yeah. I was just mechanical pencil gang.
Yeah, I was part of that too. And I kept a little bit of a eraser at the end.
Oh, nice.
So, the pencil sharpener is not to be emptied. Duh.
Right. It digests that. That's weird.
It eats it. Even if the personnel judge that it has become clogged. If it has been clogged, the person is to wait 10 minutes and then resume sharpening.
Okay.
It just is
it just needs
to stop,
a minute.
Dude.
Yeah. It's I'm full. Just give me some time to make some room, and then I mean, how much can a pencil sharpener hold? 4 pencils is a lot.
4 pencils is a lot.
All at once,
Yeah.
I feel like it. How often do they do that?
6 days. Every 6 days.
That just seems weird.
Yeah.
I would give it a pencil every day or something like that.
I think no. I think that's what it requested though.
Probably. Oh, maybe that's for that.
I'm sure is
that would make sense.
This is what I want
because it's sentient.
To be so specific as a commercially produced 16-centimeter HB pencil,
yeah,
he definitely.
It's just I have very specific tastes.
Yeah.
I have needs.
I have standards. Things.
So every 7 days, the stapler is to be filled with a block of 200 standard commercially purchased staples.
Also, he's got several. The whole idea is that he has several things to feed from, so that's also why it's got every 6 days.
Yeah, that makes sense too because it's got.
And then every 20 days, the microfiche is to be filled with 15 sheets of what used to be standard commercially purchased microfilm. Is now blank cellulose acetate film. Produced on site.
That's probably the most expensive thing that they have to feed.
Because that's not stuff that's produced anymore. They have to make it for them.
Cellulose acetate.
You have to reuse those.
So it's not just normal.
Yeah, no, they make their own thing.
Yeah,
they have it. They have a vegan substitute for the standard.
He eats pencil shavings, normal staples, and also is vegan.
And also the microfiche is vegan.
Yeah.
The rest of it's not. Don't ask. They don't like to talk about it.
They don't. So the water cooler is to be drained of waste material whenever it fills more than halfway. The waste matter is to be incinerated. So then all reading material requested by 086 must be approved by Site Command. All research proposals made by... So he still does research.
Yeah.
I
It
kind of
must be
figured
approved.
that.
I mean, how else is he gonna occupy his time? You can't just let him sit there.
Because see,
No,
the
he
thing is, he was
reads.
requesting
Yeah, he
files,
reads.
so I was like, is he just resuming like office work, like actual work,
Yeah.
not just
Yeah, it
alphabetizing?
looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm assuming that they give him old case files or
Yeah.
something that haven't been figured out, and he could go over them again
Yeah.
and figure it out.
It's just an office that just runs
Just a dude
itself.
who wants to do his job, who happens to be
Yeah.
a phone and a pencil sharpener and a microfiche.
And a microfiche. And also a water cooler.
And a water cooler and
a lot of other stuff, actually.
the calculator
The calculator, the slide rule. Did you say that?
and the slide rule. Didn't say that
Well.
one.
Stapler. Did you say that?
The stapler. Man, there's a lot of and filing cabinet.
Yeah,
There's a lot of parts to this
Yeah.
thing.
There's 8 parts.
Okay. It's a lot of them.
It'd be funny
I
if
like
that's
that
just
one.
like
Yeah,
the idea.
It's a little
that's cute.
freaky. I don't know why it's a little freaky to me.
It's cute.
Just the thought of a brain in a phone. I don't like it.
I think it's also the idea that
Which,
if you
and,
ever
like-
became that way, though, like, that's kind of like its own personal hell.
It's wild to me though because our phones are all AI now.
Yeah.
But like to me, I'm like,
Well,
oh,
there's
the
already
phone
a brain
thinks.
in it.
I don't like it.
Our phones already do.
Yeah, I know. I was like, why is that weird to me?
Technically, it's a program that can take over a phone, but you should read the story Seed on Webtoon.
So yeah, that was
that's
just
it.
we all just fully were just like
finally
we're
did it. Like,
done.
we're done.
We did it.
So that was our episode this week. I hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about SCPs. We found some interesting ones. I'd definitely be up for doing this again, not at 2 a.m.
No, it's
This-
too
When I can like actively like
We
read
have
and
a
comprehend
problem,
things. But
Also, this
if anyone's listening, shoot us a comments of some of your favorite SCPs.
Yeah.
Because I would really, it's hard to parse, all 5,000 or so of them.
Yeah.
To try and find interesting ones to talk about. So if you have a favorite, let me know. I'd love to read about them and learn more about them because it's just like it's a really fun world to explore. And I know a lot of them get dark, and we kind of strayed away from most of those today. Some of them got dark, but
Because
It wasn't
gonna
the
be
right
here
mood.
alone,
Yeah.
and I'm scared.
so, but yeah, I definitely find them interesting. I thought that was fun. So, thanks for watching, listening. What did we do here? Bye!